Hey, what's up everyone? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this video we're looking at the new Play Art Sky Arkham City Batman in the 1970s skin. That's what it was in the game. This is, if you guys know me at all at this point, Batman's my favorite character, and this is my favorite style of Batman, with the blue and gray combo with the yellow belt and the yellow emblem on his chest. That is, for me, the best look for Batman, as impractical as it may be. So I was really excited when they announced this figure last Comic-Con, and I was really excited that when I got it. However, they have screwed up something, and it's not horrible, and I think I can adjust it a little bit to make it better for myself, but they didn't do a very good job in this one area, and that is the legs. Now, on the other Batman figures, he had really big thighs and rather wide hips, and I think in their attempt to correct that problem, they screwed up a little bit. His legs, now I know they look okay right now, and that's because I've already done some tinkering, but his legs are really narrow in the hips, and the legs seem to be a little bit short, and I think that might just be because the way they have the crotch piece made, it can't go up high enough to look accurate, to look proper, so it ends up sagging down kind of low and making his legs look weird. So again, you can adjust that a little bit and play around with it. Like right now it looks pretty good for me, but as it is, at least the way mine was in the package, it looked really weird. Like this piece was down pretty far and this was back really far. His legs were forward, so he had like this really weird stumpy leg thing going on. But you can adjust it, and it should be alright. I do think that maybe the legs, something's off in the proportions. I'm not sure what it is. Now that I'm looking at it more, it doesn't seem so bad. But my first impression was that some bit of proportioning was not quite right. Right now it looks really good in the view, or in the screen for the camera, so maybe I was crazy, I don't know. If you guys have it, let me know what you think, or just from looking at it, let me know what you think. But something seemed off, but either way, it looks pretty good now, so we'll just forget I said anything. Okay, let's look at everything. He stands 9.5 inches tall. Just for a quick comparison, this is the new Joker, so size-wise, Batman's just a tiny bit taller. Let's put it this way. And personally, this, like I said, this is my favorite design, and I think this is probably my favorite of the Arkham City Batman figures, just because they've incorporated the benefits of all of them, everything that they've learned throughout the process of making these figures, and put them all into this one figure. I never used this skin in the game, so I don't know if it's supposed to be quite this wrinkly, but it doesn't look bad. You get used to it pretty quick, so if you're worried about that, don't be. The head, I love the head sculpt on this figure. I'm really happy with how that came out. I wish the ears weren't bent so much, and maybe that's just from the packaging, but they seem pretty stiff like that, so I don't know. He's a little glossy in the face, but still, it looks really good. Get out of here, cat. The cat's trying to steal Joker's head. Get out of here. Alright. And so it has the articulated cape. We'll get into it in more detail in a second, but still, it has the hinged shoulder flaps. Really, just everything we want in a Batman. The only thing I say maybe we could use a little more of is accessories, because all we have is we have the two hands here, the one for the Batarang and one open one, and then we have a fist for either side. That's it for hands. So a little bit lacking in the hand department, and then we have one Batarang, which looks cool. It's kind of fat though. It's actually really fat. It's painted well with the gold and black, but it's really fat. So I don't know. That's it for accessories. We could have gotten another head. I think that would have been really cool, or a grapnel gun or something like that. I don't know. But either way, it's not bad. So let's look at the paint job. The paint job is really well done. The gray with the black, the dry brushed gray over the black, looks really good. They didn't seem to overdo it too much. This one leg maybe a little bit, but still, overall it looks really good. And then the blue and the black, there's tons of black shading on the blue, and I think it looks awesome. I mean, some people hate the blue, so they're going to complain about it either way, but I think as far as having a blue Batman goes, this is the way to do it. This looks really good. I love it. And then the gold for the bat emblem and the gold for the belt are both actually gold, not just yellow. So it looks awesome. Really, really like the way this came out. So as far as articulation goes, I kind of already said it, you know, it's standard Play Arts Kai, but they actually incorporated all of the good parts from the other Batmans. So the head itself is on a ball peg, double ball peg. Neck is on a ball peg. It doesn't have the huge range of motion, but at least we don't have the kind of point thing that came out on the first Batman, maybe on 2 of them, I don't remember now. So the neck is actually buried in there properly, so it's limited, but that's good. You can still definitely get all the posing you need done, and there's no huge gap in between the head and the neck, so that's fine by me. Again, these are actually hinged, and how that works is there's a piece of plastic from this that goes straight through. There's a channel that goes all the way back to this piece, so it's kind of like a giant hinge, but that's good because that allows for better range of motion for the shoulders. As far as the hinging goes for the back of the cape, we have a new flap back here, which is something they haven't done before. So these are hinged, like I said, and then this flap just sits here to kind of hide everything. Underneath that, we have the 2 ball hinges that we are used to. This time, though, they stick out at an angle and give you a little bit better range of motion. It's a little easier to pose it, and it looks pretty cool. Of course, it does have the gap, but you can eliminate that fairly easily, and you can get them posed however you want. Get the cape windswept a little bit, no problem at all. So I do like it. I'm glad that they went back to using the articulated cape after not using it for the standard Arkham City figure. It definitely suits this figure well, and I'm happy they did it. And we do have the butterfly joint. It's not the best use of a butterfly joint just because of the way they built it. It's kind of too far back to get forward that much, but it's not horrible. We have the ball hinge shoulders. His shoulders are a bit small compared to some of the other Batman figures, but they don't look horrible. You know, I think they're probably pretty well proportioned, so that's okay. We have the ball hinge and the swivel there, so that's fine. He does have the bicep swivel. It's a little stiff, and you might get some of this white powder stuff. I'm not sure what that is. A lot of the Play Arts have it. It comes right off, though. Get like a damp washcloth and just rub that off, and it won't be a problem. So the bicep swivel, standard ball hinge elbow, good range of motion there. It swivels on both spots. Same thing with the wrist. It swivels in the forearm and the hand, and is technically ratcheted, but it doesn't actually ratchet too much. But it's not loose, so that's okay. Double barbell in here. It's one of the better ones. It's got a pretty good range of motion. The cape is kind of too heavy for it, but if you find a sweet spot, you shouldn't have too much trouble posing it. The crotch is a standard upside down T, so this is a ball peg in the lower torso. It's stiff, but it does have the full range of motion. Side to side, front and back, really anything you need to do. This is super soft this time. I don't know what they used or why they did it differently, but it is super soft. And something to note is his torso goes down really far, so if you wanted to increase articulation, and again, this is do at your own risk type of thing, you can trim away some of that bottom gray part so that it doesn't hit off that the hip T-joint, and you'll have better range of motion, and you probably can even help the saggy undie problem that he has a little bit. So then his hips are ratcheted side to side. You can see the ratchet ball joint in there, ratcheted forward and back, and they swivel around as well. Again, I'm gonna have to take this out because it still sits really weird. I don't know what's up with it. Something about it is just not right. I don't know. All right, anyway, so he has double jointed knees. They did give him a kneecap this time, but they're still using this strange knee joint combination that just, it doesn't work well. They need to fix that, I think, but it looks pretty good from the front, so that's okay. And then the ankles, lastly, are just like the wrists and the elbow, so it's a ratcheted ball hinge. It swivels on both ends. They didn't put any cut joints in the feet, so I'm happy about that. So, I mean, is it perfect? No, but it is pretty damn good. Again, if you pull up the underwear just a little bit, it makes his legs look as long as they should be. Otherwise, it sags and they get kind of this weird shape to them. I don't know if you can tell, but I can, and it bothers me. But it's still definitely a good figure, and it's definitely a contender for a top 10 spot for this year. We'll see. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more figure reviews, custom figures, and other good stuff. In the meantime, keep collecting.